everybody knows Kawhi's the guy there. Be like Paul George. Paul George said Kawhi's gonna be the guy if we're both on the floor. I acknowledge that because Kawhi has been there, done that. So right, is he gonna be like, okay, now, oh, I want to be a Laker? Okay, well, LeBron, if he stays there for a year, is gonna want the ball there.
Yeah, next thing you know, he's like, I want to be a Shanghai Shark, right?
Yeah. Like at this point, like, what do you want to be?
At this point, you might be a Shanghai
You might
Shark.
as well just. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BTR podcast.
Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe.
As always, make sure you guys can drop a follow on our Instagram. We're almost at 100 followers, so help us reach that. We always drop daily content there, as well as our TikTok. Follow our Twitter for any updates and YouTube Shorts. Like he said, subscribe. And we can't forget about our audio audience, the audio platform audience. So make sure you guys download the podcast. If you enjoy it, drop a 5-star rating.
Shout out Brussels.
All right, let's get into it.
Soccer.
This is my question. Do you want to get into soccer, or do you want to be classic Vancouver media and go Canucks first?
No, we'll go soccer.
Okay.
We're not good enough to be in the Vancouver media yet.
All right, so opening weekend. Just start with that, or do you want to start with transfers?
Yeah, let's go opening weekend.
All right, opening weekend. Your initial reactions first. Now,
Holland is still Holland. 2 goals. This isn't the EPL predictions video that will hopefully come out by Tuesday. I might be wrong by Liverpool. By that's a sign that I put Liverpool high up. And number 3, Chelsea was better than I thought. AKA, more specifically, Nicholas Jackson.
AKA, I was right and you were wrong so far?
Yeah, I might be in the mud with the tier list.
Okay, well, who knows? First game was overreaction weekend. We haven't watched Manchester United play yet because they
dropped.
By the time this podcast drops, that's when they're either playing or their game just finished. So again, just a reminder to everybody, it's Sunday night, so we can't talk a Man United prediction right. Or we could talk about a prediction if you want, but we can't talk about their game and how it went. But Holland off the bat, he put up stinkers before, right? And another Community Shield stinker comes out, doesn't get the hat trick, but does Holland things. Again, I love to troll around with people that are Holland fans in a way, just because he scores against the small teams at times. But
that's true, but
not really either. It's just the last few finals.
Few finals. But like the thing is, like, if you're not getting your job done against the small teams, you're not gonna have any chance against the big teams, right? And so he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and he started off rock solid again. I think he started off last year with 2 goals as well.
Yeah, and then
another story.
De Bruyne injured.
Yeah, De Bruyne injured. Pep's an idiot. Why the hell are you starting De Bruyne when he only has 20 minutes of a preseason game?
Oh, that's what happened?
Yeah, De Bruyne has 20 minutes of preseason total.
I didn't know. I didn't follow any preseason. Realistic. Even Man United, I barely followed.
It was the Community Shield. He subbed on.
That's when. Oh.
Okay, yeah. So then he had the hamstring issue from the Champions League, right? And then De Bruyne pre-game said himself, "I'm surprised I'm in the starting lineup." So like that's a sign that to the manager saying that this guy is not fit. Why are you starting him?
If you
sub him on for the last 20 is fine, but Pep fucked up.
All I saw on Twitter was because FPL. This is our first time experiencing it, and everybody that's like, "Oh, pick De Bruyne." They're like, rest in peace to your guys' thing, I guess, because
your teams are fucked.
Obviously I shouldn't be talking because Tyrone Mings got injured, but the
center backs not
did you see Pep yelling at Holland at the end of the game?
Yeah, Holland got frustrated at halftime because I think there was a chance. I think Ederson could have played him in behind, right? And then they played it conservative because of like the last minute, and then Holland was pissed because like Holland wants to score goals. So then I think Holland was frustrated at halftime. Pep tried to calm him down.
Like obviously my buddy at my work is like, why are you yelling at Holland? It's Holland. You shouldn't be like, like that Leo Messi, LeBron thing. I have no issues with it, especially with Holland's age at 22. Like if that was Messi, Ronaldo, okay, I get it. They're established. But I'm sure if that was young Messi and Ronaldo, same thing would have happened. You need managers to be held accountable. Pep is doing that with Holland. Like just tell him to calm down. Same thing with like we talked about Ten Hag Rashford's relationship. I'm sure Klopp has done it with some of his guys as well. So yeah, no, it's just for me. I'm fine with it. Both. If Holland acts like he's the shit, like he has nothing to improve on, then it's an issue, and that's on Holland more so than Pep.
I think
clearly, I don't think Holland's that type of guy.
No, I think it was just like Holland just wanted more goals.
I didn't know that was the end of the game. That's why I didn't realize.
But my thoughts would be like, yo, Holland just wanted to do more, and he didn't get the chance to, so he's probably just being frustrated at Pep, and then Pep's like, relax.
All right. So next thing, you mentioned Liverpool off the bat and Chelsea. So they played each other, and we're gonna get right into their transfer story, which is probably the biggest of the obviously summer, but the funniest I've seen in so long, probably ever. Right. So off the bat, they tied 1-1. I didn't watch the early beginning. I know Liverpool. When I woke up, Liverpool was already up 1-0. Right when I woke up and turned the TV on was when Chelsea literally scored. And from what I was seeing on Twitter from guys like Peter Galindo and all these other guys, that Liverpool were dominating them. They had 2-0, but it was offside. And then I turned on. Chelsea seemed to be the better team.
Yeah, I think from the point,
and they scored 2 goals, but the second one was offside. A name I forgot to mention about Chelsea was Thiago Silva, so he's still that vet there that will get that young team rolling. And yeah, no, for me, you mentioned Nico Jackson, and he may have not scored and had a great chance to score one. He seems like a workhorse up front. Like, he's just constantly running. He's getting through with the ball, has that speed.
The one thing I like about Nico Jackson is, like, you know how strikers, like, sometimes go... Like, there was this one play where, like, he just went directly to the net and got a shot off. And where some other strikers in the world would just like cut inside or try to make too much of it, right? And then obviously he didn't score that, but I like that because he's being direct. He's trying to get to goal as quick as possible.
Yeah, no. In general, Enzo's
100.
Like, okay, so now this is where I'm gonna get to this. Now let's get to the Saicedo thing, because I'm gonna correlate Enzo and Jude as well. So the transfer saga, which is the funniest thing I've seen, it happened like a couple of days ago. So the whole summer, essentially, it started off with Arsenal wanting Saicedo in January. Arsenal moved on, got Declan Rice, and they're out of the picture. Chelsea were pretty much, it was like United going after Mount type thing. It was, a lot of like that similar vibe, but obviously United Mount got done quick. With Saicedo, it was Brighton wanted over 100 mil, whatever, right? Now with today's market, it's insane because I don't think Saicedo, as good as he is and young as he is, you're obviously going to pay that for straight up potential, but I don't think he's a 100 million player. But so that's what the case was, right? They're going all summer long. Come in Liverpool, we're going after Lavia this whole time, Romel Lavia from Southampton, and he was like in the 50 million range, I guess. And similar situation was going on, and Chelsea decided to make a bid on Lavia. And what happened was, okay, everybody started clowning on Liverpool a little bit. They're like, oh, what? No, not even just clowning on Liverpool. Liverpool fans were like saying fire or sell the team to FSG, which is the Fenway Sports Group, who owns the Pittsburgh Penguins, for example, and the Boston Red Sox. And also LeBron's part of that ownership group. But anyways, the next day, Liverpool threw a 115 million bid at Saicedo.
Yeah, I think it was around 110.
110 to 115. Yeah. And that's when it was like it started progressing. It was kind of like when Man United were after Darwin Nunez and Cody Gakpo. Yeah. Liverpool came out of nowhere and offered and just got it done.
I'm like, okay, Liverpool officially renewed their midfield.
Yeah. For me, then at that point, I'm like, I agreed with you. I'm like, okay, now Liverpool look like they'll be a crazy team.
Yeah, like a refurbished midfield with the Saicedo, because they're missing a 6.
Yeah. So, and even though Saicedo's not a complete 6, but he's still capable of playing the 6. But anyways, so Saicedo, again at this point.
Then the next day happened.
Let's just finish that day off quickly. So Brighton pretty much told Chelsea, this is what they're offering. What's their best offer? Let's go start with it, right? And obviously, Lavia's out of the picture at this point. Liverpool put in that 115 million pound bid or euro bid. And now keep in mind, Klopp is like, I will stop coaching if that ever happens. He clearly was coaching.
He admitted to his mistake.
Yeah, and then Chelsea put a bid lower. So Brighton officially accepted Chelsea's bid. Liverpool's bid. And normally, as a Man United fan, both of us, we experienced that with Gakpo and we experienced that with Darwin Nunez. When Liverpool won the bid, they will agree personal terms with Liverpool. This also reminds me of the situation with Lukaku with Chelsea and United back then when he joined United over Chelsea. Everybody's clowning on Chelsea. I'm on Twitter coming back. I'm on the Sky Train. I'm reading the posts, tweets, whatever Elon Musk calls it now, X's or whatever. And all you see is Chelsea fans, like those big Chelsea fan pages give up. And it's hilarious to me. And I'm like, oh, thank God for once it's not Man United, right? Next day, wake up, Friday morning, right? Wake up. And you were sleeping, so I messaged you the tweet. And it was Yeah, Saicedo rejects personal terms with Liverpool. He only wants Chelsea, and I'm like, oh, like that's crazy
That's
to me.
crazy, yeah.
Right? And
'cause that never happens.
That never happens usually, right? Like Mudryk was a perfect example. He wanted
Yeah.
Arsenal. Chelsea gave the bid,
And then
and he just randomly agreed to
he
personal
just agreed
terms,
with-
right?
yeah.
In this case, you could tell Saicedo was
He's like, I want to say
he was
low.
committed to Chelsea for sure
And he's
because
like, I wanna stay
we had a
low
cousin that
status.
was saying, why isn't United going after him, right?
Yeah.
It probably would have been cheaper. First of all, disagree with that because we already know that
It
United
just be the
tax.
same price. It's not cheaper.
But clearly, there's a reason why we didn't go after him because he didn't want to leave for United. So, and it's funny because Chelsea's 12th, and so then they don't have any Europe. At least Liverpool has Europa League this year, right? So yeah, then Pep. Now Liverpool look like the biggest losers because now Liverpool. Now fast forward, Saicedo and Brighton have agreed on a deal. They have already clearly agreed on personal terms.
Chelsea.
8-year deal, by the way.
Chelsea.
That's insane. Yeah, 8-year deal with Saicedo.
Yeah, you said Brighton.
Oh, sorry. Brighton and Chelsea have agreed on the transfer fee now,
On the transfer.
which is
yeah.
the same or a little bit higher than Liverpool. I think that's 115,
Yeah.
and so
And then Saicedo and Chelsea agreed on personal terms.
already. So
Yeah.
that deal looks like it's gonna happen, which is funny because I was hoping the unveil happened today. But and Liverpool look bad in this sense too. Now they might go after Lavia, but Southampton's gonna be like, well, you were clearly ready to overpay for Saicedo. We believe Lavia is equal, if not better. They might ask for 100 mil now too.
Who
And
knows?
before you continue, sorry, I know this is me on a ramble because a lot of shit happened. Just before we hit record, I think about a couple of hours ago, Lavia has apparently close to going to Chelsea as well. Now, this scares me as a United fan because we're linked to Amrabat, and I want Amrabat. You want
I want
Amrabat too,
Amrabat
right?
too,
And
yeah.
we know Liverpool United history when it comes to transfers of the last year. So that's the end of that story. My question to you is simple. Enzo Fernandez, back to that now, like I mentioned earlier, 100 million only.
Worth every penny right now.
Saicedo's at 115, and I think 95 was Jude Bellingham. How insane is this market? These markets going for like players like
Inflation.
Is it just English Premier League overvaluation too?
Inflation.
Because Benfica was Portuguese league, and Jude played in. Obviously, he's English, so you have that side of
Like
things.
probably
But he
like
was in the
EPL. Just like EPL's got a lot of money. So like
Yeah.
these clubs, like obviously the top,
Chelsea's got to have some
top
financial fair
six-
play rules.
the top 6 clubs, right? Like
Yeah.
they have quite a bit of money, and the big 6 obviously. Then you could chuck in Newcastle as well now. So
It's hilarious.
they're like,
yeah.
all right, since you have a lot of money, we want at least 70 million for every player.
Yeah, so that's that transfer. That's one of the transfer updates we have. But it's funny because the two teams played each other, and it looks the way Chelsea played.
Chelsea played well.
They look better. Darwin Nunez did Darwin Nunez things, and he came on with a horrible touch at that point.
It was McAllister's bad pass too. as
And
well.
Liverpool again. I still think you said their midfield was fine. I disagreed. I think they needed more in that midfield, and clearly they do.
six is sick. They need a 6.
Yeah, but how much do you look at Argentina's future, man? McAllister did well when he played
McAllister
today.
did well, yeah.
And you're pairing him
Hungarian,
with Enzo.
Sabuzali in Liverpool guy, he played well too.
That's a Hungarian Gerard now. You finding out
Hungarian
how to
Gerard.
say it? But no, so Argentina's future is set.
Argentina's future is set. Obviously, if you lose Messi, he's definitely gonna fall off a little bit.
But I'm talking about midfield
But
wise.
midfield wise, yeah.
Just get a solid 6
McAllister,
behind him and you're good.
McAllister, Enzo.
And just get a solid 6 behind him and you're
Enzo
good.
can even rock the 6 too.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, no, Enzo put on I was impressed with Enzo. But yeah, so that's that.
Reece James got injured again. He was playing well
But
too.
he said it's not really a big injury, so he should be back
so
next
yeah,
game.
hopefully he's back.
But okay, so moving on
Other-
to another. Oh, you want to finish all this?
Just quickly recap some results. I think
No,
Tottenham.
I was gonna go into that.
Okay, yeah, do that.
Yeah. So you mentioned Newcastle briefly before. We'll get into Tottenham in a second because we have updates on that. Newcastle, like I said, everybody's wondering if they're going to be a fluke team. Clearly doesn't look like it. They look at least because Aston Villa is a very good team.
Arsenal's a good team.
Right? They added now Tyrone Mings is injured, but they added Pau Torres for a reason. Newcastle added Tonali, who scored a banger.
Aston Villa-
Alexander Isak's healthy from the beginning this time because last year I remember he was injured early
Yeah.
on. So there obviously again this is overreaction Monday as people like to call it in the NFL. This is going to be overreaction Monday for European football, and so far so good for Newcastle in my opinion. And that was like I want to keep an eye out on them because who knows?
Yeah, I mean first place.
Well, okay.
the first place.
Yeah.
But no, Sandro Tonali started off with a bang. Isak, great finishes by him. They look in sync. They don't look like they're out of it.
They added pieces more so, right? And
They don't look. They definitely look like they're still in sync from last year, and they're looking to continue.
Any more results you want to talk about before Tottenham? Because I want to connect the Tottenham Kane thing in a second.
Any more results? I mean, we could just go over
Luton
some
Town
results.
got let's see the relegated team. Burnley did put up a fight against City. City
Yeah, for a
obviously
bit,
did
but
comfortable.
City did.
Sheffield also lost and Luton Town lost. Luton Town got 4-1.
Yeah,
Burnley got 3-0 and then Sheffield lost 1-0.
Yeah, so I mean, Arsenal won 2-1. They just did their thing, I guess. Crystal Palace won 1-0 against Sheffield United. Fulham beat Everton 1-0.
We don't need to go through everything, but
Brighton beat Liverpool.
Nothing else that stood you out. All right, so before we get to Man United for a second, let's get a similar assessment with the Liverpool-Chelsea. Let's go to Tottenham. They tied 2-2, all 4 goals. Tottenham, who did they play again? Brentford happened in the first half, and people were saying that. I never watched the game. I didn't even look at the highlights, so I'm just going on based off the experts. Yeah, so I'm going on based off the experts are saying, like the analysts, the pundits, saying that like they're doing this high press because it's Ange ball, and they do the invert. Apparently, looking at Peter Glindo's tweets, they do inverted fullbacks. Like in our case, it would have been Shaw would be right, Wan-Bissaka or Dalla would be left, and that's how they play a high line. So you could exploit it over top and do with pace, right? And then what? So, but here's a key thing now. They're missing a striker. They haven't really replaced because now Harry Kane is officially a Bayern Munich player, which means Heung-min Son is their captain, and Kane is officially Bayern Munich. That's it on the Tottenham side. Let's get into the Bayern Munich side now here quickly. Harry Kane officially unveiled 100 million. You know, people are surprised that Bayern spent that money on him because they normally don't, as you normally talk about the history. And he was on the squad. So
instantly on
the squad, on the bench. And in his first game, pretty much there, he had the opportunity to win a trophy, which is hilarious because he's never won shit with Tottenham, right? And here comes the depressing part.
Still has to wait.
He still has to wait because our Red Bull Leipzig destroyed Bayern Munich 3-0. So it's either Harry Kane's cursed or Tottenham curse came with Harry Kane. And you'll find out this year if Tottenham win a trophy without Harry Kane this year.
I think Dortmund might have a chance this year.
Yeah. But no, obviously it's hard to implement him right away. But 3-0 is still a terrible result with him and Kim Min-jae on the bench to start the game.
I mean, yeah. So if that's just the issue. I mean, when they fired Nagelsmann last year, they struggled with Tuchel.
They'll win the league. It's kind of like when PSG added 3 guys. They won the league.
I'm just saying this much. Tuchel's tenure so far at Bayern is not looking
bad.
Good.
It's like almost like a 500 record, I think.
Yeah, it's looking terrible.
Like he got lucky that Dortmund blew it in the final day. Otherwise, he would have been 0-3 in trophies that he probably should have comfortably won.
Yeah.
The minute he came in, I still don't understand the Nagelsmann firing, but yeah. So that's the Harry Kane side of things. So it's the Tottenham curse has followed Harry Kane at Bayern Munich for now.
Yeah.
Overreaction Monday, like we said. Man United. Let's close out the EPL. We don't need to go into it because every time we talk Man United, we know we could just go on for hours and hours. But obviously, we mentioned how excited we are during the year, which means, you know, the opposite usually happens for us, knowing our sports fandom.
Yeah.
But I don't want to make a prediction of the game itself win, but because we're still lacking a striker, in my opinion. Do you think it's going to be a comfortable win, or do you think it's going to be like a hard-fought win, draw, or we lose like Brentford style?
It's going to be like one of those games where like they're going to find they'll be the better team, right? But they're going to struggle scoring.
For sure.
But I think they'll still pull off.
It'll be like the classic, like, okay, Wolves lost Adama Traore. They lost. I forgot where he signed. He signed, I think, Fulham. I don't know where he was. Well, I'll double check that.
Lost Raul Jimenez.
And they lost Ruben Neves.
Yeah.
So they lost key pieces, right? And for me, I agree with you. We don't have that finisher. Now, is Bruno going to play on the wing? I hope not. God, hope not. But it's going to be the classic. We'll get that one goal at some point and win 1-0. Like, I have a feeling that's what it might be.
I think we'll edge out 2-0.
Yeah.
Right.
But it'll be like 1-0 and we'll get a late 2-0
Yeah, like
goal.
a late 2-0 goal.
Something like that.
It'll be something like that. And the thing with United is, like, can they find a way to get, like, dominant wins, put the game away early?
That's what I'm saying.
So let's see if they could improve on that this year.
Like, essentially what they did to Chelsea late in last year.
Yeah, they put away Chelsea early, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we need to see from... That's what the one thing, like, outside of the whole away record improvement, I want to see that from Man United this year. Still need a striker, but...
Just quick lineup prediction. Just
Well, okay, it's gonna be Onana.
Onana,
The back four will be the
Wan-Bissaka.
I'll go with Wan-Bissaka, Shaw fullbacks, Varane, Martinez,
Then the midfield three should be
and-
Casemiro.
Bruno, and
And
Mount.
Mount.
And then the front three. Now Martial's healthy, but I don't know if he'll start. So, and Jadon Sancho has done well as a false nine. So that's where I'm a little confused. I think Anthony's starting. I think Rashford's starting. That's a given for me. Those are locks for me. Whether I know you disagree with the Anthony one.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with it. It was new season. Let's see what happens.
I still think he'll start just because he usually does.
And for me, it's going to be between Sancho and Garnacho. I don't think Martial gets the start. Again, I won't be surprised if Martial does get the start and put Rashford on the wing. I think it's going to be, I might think it's going to be Sancho.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't know. It's tough. I don't know. I genuinely don't know because like Garnacho's still young, but he is much better. So
yeah. I'm just saying Martial.
I'm gonna say Sancho.
I'm just saying Martial.
It's gonna be Garnacho, which means.
All right. So
okay.
Yeah, that's enough for Man United.
Okay, let's move on. So injuries hit Real Madrid big time. Today they lost
Eder
Militao tore an ACL. A couple of days ago they lost Thibaut Courtois, and they replaced Thibaut Courtois though with the Kepa, which is kind of funny. But Spain, he wanted to go home. It's on loan. He was supposed to go to Bayern Munich. This came up. Not the rumors, but like the memes were Camavinga will go ahead and net.
Yeah, because Camavinga's like center mid, and they're playing him left back,
and now he'll be goalie.
Now goalie and now center back.
So, but no, they got Kepa for the time being. Let's see how he does there. He's been like up. He's the most expensive goalie still, right?
I think he did better last year, but obviously he wasn't.
Different coach. There's a reason why Robert Sanchez is.
Yeah.
He was okay. Pochettino, again, great job with Chelsea, by the way. That was my key factor. That is, he clearly was fine with letting Kepa go and having Robert Sanchez, right?
Yeah.
So
Robert Sanchez is start on his feet as well.
Yeah. So that's that update there. But we got some big updates on the Mbappe front. People are probably wondering: is he going to Real Madrid? Is he leaving? Is he still on the bench? No. It's none of those. He's actually looking to renew a contract with PSG.
It's just a cycle, man, at this rate.
So here's the thing. I think this one's a little bit different. I feel like they're gonna agree on an exit clause in 2024. So next year he could be a Real Madrid player on a clause, and I'm fine with PSG doing this. But like, if I'm Mbappe, agree to an exit clause and get out of there next year.
But
he's got to.
We also say this every year.
He can't have a Dame Lillard thing where I want one team either.
Yeah, I know. But
if Real Madrid don't want to pay for you, then obviously they did a couple of years ago, but that's on you for re-signing the contract, and PSG didn't want to sell. That's your fault. You have to live with that consequence. And he wants to obviously play out his contract. He said that, but I don't disagree with PSG's, and you don't either, that he should be moving on.
They don't want to let him go
for free. And Mbappe's got to realize that it's a business, extend for one more year, and then get someone to come out. But he's got to realize if Madrid really want him, they will pay for him next year.
Yeah, and then obviously we saw PSG struggle without Mbappe and also without Neymar.
And Messi, technically. They downgraded. Yeah. So,
speaking of Neymar,
like we mentioned a couple of episodes ago, he wants out, and it's looking like he's going to Al Hilal, the team that was supposed to get Messi. So some people were saying that stay in Europe, you have a chance to win a Ballon d'Or for once because Messi and Ronaldo are no longer there, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously this year Messi or Haaland will probably win, but next year, right? So, but it looks like he's going to Al Hilal most likely. I think he wanted Barcelona bad, but Barcelona can't afford him. / you've mentioned that maybe he might not fit Xavi's system, but who knows? So yeah, there's the update on Neymar, and it's looking like he's following Saudi as well. Speaking of Saudi, Ronaldo won the trophy there. That looks like a bootleg World Cup.
Ronaldo won the World Cup.
Okay, let's go on to the Women's World Cup. We got our semi-finalists announced, and on Tuesday 1 a.m., so technically Monday night, Tuesday morning, Pacific time, 1 a.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, Sweden versus Spain is one semifinalist. So this happened because Sweden beat Japan 2-1.
Yeah.
And Spain beat Netherlands in extra time 2-1 as well. And then the other semifinalists, will cover the games quickly because we watched a little bit of this one. England, Australia are the other semifinalists. The hosts, thriller shootout, thriller PKs against France, 0-0 game, 7-6 in PKs. And England, I don't know how comfortable it was, but 2-1 win.
I think they were down 1-0.
Okay, so whatever, they're through.
Yeah.
Like they should be. So, my first question to you, power rank the 4 teams.
England, Sweden, Spain, Australia.
And how much do you think it's straight up England, Sweden? That's it? Or do you think Spain
No,
has
Spain's
it?
good.
And
Spain is
Australia,
good.
too, home.
Yeah, Australia is home, but I think England is going to be too much for them.
Yeah, like for me, like my pre-World Cup prediction, I said it was England, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And as the World Cup went on, I still think Sweden is neck and neck with them, though.
Yeah.
The more I've seen Sweden play, especially in the Olympics over the years, they beat the best team. They're still the best team. Just because they're out doesn't mean they're not the best team overall. But obviously in this World Cup, they're not the best team. But which I'm talking about the USA here, you got to give Sweden a similar chance against England, in my opinion. But I do agree. I'm still sticking with my thing. I think England, Sweden final. England will win it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so that's a Tuesday 1 a.m. and Wednesday around the same time as well. Wednesday at 3 a.m. a little bit later, which I don't know if it's good or bad for you guys. For some people that do want to tune in, but I'm sure depending on where you are in the world, there will be replays. So, so let's end soccer there. Comment you guys' thoughts below. What you guys' thoughts on the Women's World Cup opening weekend? What do you think? We'll keep that there. Let's move on. Do you want to go? We teased the Canucks in the beginning. Do you want to keep us teasing them, or do you want to go NBA?
We'll just go for it now, I guess.
And NHL right away. The only news, kind of relatively decent news, big news if you're a Canucks fan.
Yeah.
The Canucks agreed to a 2-year deal worth 1.6
AAV?
AAV. So 2 years and 1.6 AAV for Pius Suter, who's a 27-year-old Swiss product who last played for Detroit, and his first year in the NHL was with Chicago. And for Canucks fans, this is big because we were lacking center depth. He's a two-way center, good penalty kill. And everywhere we look on Twitter, all the Canucks media or Canucks fans, no one I saw had a negative news, unless you're a hater. No one had negative things to say about this.
Yeah, for sure, because you're looking for a guy who's going to two-way center.
Yeah.
That's one thing you'll look for, right?
Because some people don't think that Teddy Blueger's a 3C. This guy can be a different 3C. Scored 14 goals a year.
Yeah, reason being, he scored double-digit goals, right? And if you're a two-way center and you can score double-digit goals, I think you're a good 3C. Right?
Yeah.
Because we all know it's PD and Miller.
That being said, we're not saying Pius Suter is going to fulfill the production of Bo Horvat.
Yeah.
Or he's like some guy that will help us win the cup. Like, no, will he propel us to get in the playoffs? For sure.
It's just a positional need type thing, right?
Big time. Because
center was a lack of depth. Obviously, we're like...
Now we have competition for Niels Ullmann,
Pius Suter, Teddy Bluger, right?
Miller, like JT Miller could move up to the wing if he's struggling, but obviously we don't want that to happen. But
so like there's two spots between those three, and thinking of it, I think Pius Suter should be the 3C.
It's like what you said, but when we were talking about NHL winners and losers, and we obviously going to talk about the Canucks because we're huge fans. Are Demko, Hughes, and PD gonna?
They have to
click at the same time, and even throw in JT Miller in there too.
And throw in JT Miller because they have to click at the same time.
Because outside of Hughes, the three of them had started off years with stinkers. Last year was Demko and Miller, but Bo Horvat went off, and now he's no longer a Canuck. The year before that was PD, right? Hughes, for the most part, has been maybe that shortened.
Hughes had
year.
The shortened
shortened year was the main one, but after that is
he's improved his game a lot. But Demko and Miller struggled last year, where previous year Demko and Miller were the gods. Yeah. And then the previous year PD was shit, and then this past year PD was a god again. So can those three mainly? Obviously, I'm going to say PD, Hughes, and Demko click at the same time. And I
have to throw in JT Miller.
His
extension kicked in now. He's got Now, I'm not saying 99 points, but can he be the second half, the talk JT Miller now?
Yeah, right. But throw in JT Miller just as a bonus for me.
Yeah, I'm actually.
But the main thing is those three have to click. If the thing is, I don't care if JT Miller, Hughes, and Demko click together. I need to make sure that PD, Hughes, and Demko click.
Yeah, because PD is that guy. And PD, obviously, we don't know what his contract situation is going to be.
At the end of the day, those are the three most important players.
Hopefully, we get the contract situation figured out by the end of the year. It's August. So, just a little bit on Pius Suter. I've heard of him, and everybody was saying, like, great pickup by the Canucks, valued pickup. He should have been going at July 1st. Didn't go July 1st. He should have been gone already. And I guess from Rick Dolio, I was saying, 1 year. Everybody was pretty much offering 1 year. Canucks were offering him 2, and I'm fine with the 2 year at 1.6.
1.6, yeah.
That's fine with me. That's what 3Cs kind of make nowadays. 4Cs especially.
That's what 3Cs should make. Yeah. Not like freaking Benning throwing out 6x6s to everyone.
Yeah. So, Swiss league for the most part, and then 3 years in the NHL, almost played every game. That's the key part.
Healthy.
He was healthy.
Yeah.
Like he played like 78 games last year, 80 something the year before, 50 something year before. But the 50 something was because of the shortened year. Keep in mind, just because I said 50 something, doesn't mean it's 50 something games in the regular 82 year.
Yeah.
So, welcome. The Canucks. I wouldn't say I'm excited because every time I say that,
every year we say that, right?
but I'm intrigued now for sure. Like,
but like this year,
to your point,
yeah,
you said I want to see changes, and changes have been made.
Changes
in every aspect except obviously goalie, which doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, the only question mark I clearly have now is like every spot's really filled up, right?
Can we get second? Obviously, our main guys have to score, but is our defending gonna be much better? Which on paper it should be.
On paper it should be, yeah.
And same thing with
penalty kill.
Penalty kill obviously, but no, the secondary scoring, and we kind of addressed it with this.
And another one, I'm gonna say backup goalie. Kind of a question mark still because Seelov's not really proven.
We don't know if it's gonna be Spencer Martin.
We don't know Martin.
We signed a guy, I just don't know who it is.
Martin did well in a backup role, but then obviously last year he had to be pushed to a starter.
Yeah,
and he started off good, but then went downhill.
He's not. We've shown that he's shown that he's only a backup in the league.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll come back to his original backup self.
Obviously, Seelov's could have a chance to.
Yeah. So it's competition all around, and I'm excited. Hopefully, our Punjabi brother, I guess you could say, Archie Baines could crack the roster at some point next year as a fourth line winger, for example.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go into some boxing here. Quick fire. Anthony Joshua fight happened yesterday. I didn't really watch much of it, but I saw the knockout. So Anthony Joshua 7th round knockout on Robert Helenius, and it wasn't a TKO or a stoppage. It was a clean knockout. Now it wasn't like Deontay Wilder half punch. He was done knockout, but he still ended up getting up, which is good. The stuff that happened, the stuff that I want to talk about is after the fight. Conor McGregor calling out KSI for a bare knuckle fight.
Actually,
yeah. So he's like, it's funny because now I'm not trying to get into the whole YouTube thing here, as much as we're fans of YouTube boxing or influencer boxing. But at the end of the day, it's McGregor. He draws views. He's calling out KSI, fight me right now, bare knuckle. It's Conor doing Conor things.
The thing is, like, McGregor needs to get his priorities straight, bro.
He did say so. He did confirm him. I think he's officially tested and stuff. He's ready. He's back in the UFC pool.
Yeah.
I think he's confirmed that he's fighting Chandler in December.
Yeah.
He said it. This is himself.
Yeah.
Then he wants to fight Gaethje for the BMF.
Yeah.
Now we all know Gaethje might get the winner of Chandler. Oliveira and Makhachev.
Yeah.
And then he wants Conor. He wants Nate Diaz in a trilogy. Now I don't know if that's gonna be boxing or UFC. But yeah, so that's one side of things. Now back to the actual boxing side. We all know what the fight we want next. It's Joshua versus Wilder, and everybody from what I'm seeing is because Joshua did well later on, but they're saying that early Joshua would have get instantly KO'd by Wilder, and we've seen Wilder do early KOs or knockdowns. Like even Tyson Fury. At the end of the day, as much as Wilder has lost to Tyson Fury, he's knocked him down early twice in their 3 fights.
He knocked him out early. Knocked him out.
The first fight was the second round, I believe. Yeah. And then the third fight was like the third round twice.
Not even that. He knocked him out like twice in 2 fights, in the first fight and the third fight.
Yeah. So one connected to Joshua. It could be lights out because we saw what Andy Ruiz did to him.
Yeah,
right?
But then the thing is this: like, the longer the fight goes, it kind of goes against Wilder because
again, you give him a puncher's chance. Still,
no, that's why.
That same thing happened to Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that was his downfall against Fury because.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The fight went
like
longer.
Joshua is the pure boxer for sure compared to Wilder, but that punch though.
That punch is wild, yeah.
So
I mean that and obviously the other one.
I just hate Anthony Joshua just criticizing people. Like he's like, oh, I'm carrying the heavyweight division. I think it's Usyk at this point. It's not even Fury. Fury's pissing me off.
They wonder if I'm gonna fight, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, like,
like seriously.
Fury, Usyk, Fury, Joshua didn't happen. So Fury's fighting Ngannou, which makes no sense because Fury's gonna just like.
And it's a non-title fight, right?
Yeah, Fury's gonna just pickpocket him the whole fight.
What is it?
I think it's 10 rounds, if I'm not even mistaken.
Well, Fury's gonna sit on him, right? They'll put his weight on him, basically.
So yeah, that won't be an entertaining fight as much as it's a money fight for some people. Like I was talking to our relative who's a combat sports guy, UFC and and boxing in a way. And he's like, it should have been Wilder versus Ngannou because they're both punchers.
Yeah.
That's a more entertaining fight than watching Fury. Because Fury, at the end of the day, we could still...
Fury's a boxer.
As much as he's pissing me off and you off,
he's a chess
still
player.
arguably pound for pound one,
Yeah.
top 3 for sure in our eyes.
He's a chess player. That's how he fights, right? It's a game of chess for him.
But yeah, no, Anthony Joshua hopefully gets that Wilder. It's supposed to happen in January. It's supposed to be close. I hope Wilder fights maybe in October, let's just say, but it might be too close then. Like Andy Ruiz to get the rust off, right? But Joshua needs to shut up at times, like saying he's carrying the division or people are on his ass, which is the case, but they know your potential. Like I'm gonna say they because we're not boxing aficionados here, but we've seen, all I've heard ever since I started watching boxing was Fury Wilder 1 was AJ's the third guy, and then the first fight we've kind of seen was him getting destroyed by Andy Ruiz in that fight, right?
Yeah.
So, and then Usyk later on. So we'll see what happens. At least he's active, which is what we want to see.
Which is good, right? Yeah.
But yeah, moving on. Let's go NBA. We got a couple of big news there. We have another trade update. Last time it was Siakam, and this time, nope, it's not Damian Lillard, but it is James Harden. And it is kind of big news because Sixers front office expect him. They took him off the trade market because they didn't like any trades. Again, I think the Sixers are getting greedy a little bit. Daryl Morey, and he expects Harden to come back to training camp in shape and everything. Now, we've seen James Harden with the Rockets throw a hissy fit and just put a fat suit on, as people like to call it.
A fat suit, right?
Put that fat suit on. So people are saying that he's getting ready for another fat suit situation. But he still wants out. He's made it clear he wants to be a Clipper. And again, I hate the fact that it's one team. And like I said before, James Harden has no excuses now. You've said, I always wanted Brooklyn. Okay, you want out of Brooklyn? Fine. We know the shit happened there. Philly, you're like, no. And then when the Philly press conference happened, you're like, no, I always wanted Philly because A, Daryl Morey was there, but B, even before Brooklyn, I wanted Philly. You got Philly. Now what's the problem? It can't be just Doc Rivers and coaching every time. It can't be, you had your boy in Daryl Morey, right? You have to acknowledge that you're no longer a lonely number one. Like, he could be still a 1A, 1B with Embiid. I still believe that. But if he's not willing to do that, then he's like, in my eyes, he's more of a 2 than a 1B, but he's still that capability of being that 1B. And we've seen the 2 games in the playoffs. James Harden, for me, is like, you got to stop throwing hissy fits. Like, what? Next, you go to the Clippers. Oh, you're not going to get the ball much because Kawhi, everybody knows Kawhi's the guy there. Be like Paul George. Paul George said Kawhi's going to be the guy if we're both on the floor. I acknowledge that because Kawhi has been there, done that. So, right? Is he going to be like, okay, now, oh, I want to be a Laker. Okay, no, LeBron, if he stays there for a year, is he going to want the ball there?
Yeah, next thing you know, he's like, I want to be a Shanghai Shark, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Like, at this point, like, what do you want to be?
At this point, you might be a Shanghai
You might
Shark.
as well just go to a rebuilding team and just hoop.
Yeah,
at this point.
This way. Like, I don't understand, right? Because, like, he's obviously got what he wanted, right? He had teams around him that...
Like, he got help unlike Damian Lillard did.
He got help, right? And he chokes. As simple as that. And it's not like, obviously, it's not all his fault, but like...
But you're not a big game player. Like, Kawhi, LeBron, Kyrie even are big playoff game players.
Kyrie made his clutch shot. Kawhi, Game 7 buzzer beater, doesn't get talked about enough as the greatest shot of all time. But and then LeBron, obviously, the block. And just like multiple buzzer beaters.
You were part of a team that missed 27 straight threes.
Yeah.
Even if you hit 1 or 2, you would have been to the finals and beat the arguably, and you would have been a hero because the Warriors team was a villain. Not even that. The Warriors team were a villain because KD joined that team.
Yeah, and Chris Paul was injured.
Yeah, I know. Like, obviously that has a factor, but I'm just talking about in general, right? Like, that was your moment.
But like, you could have beat that team without Chris Paul.
Exactly. So I don't know what's up with him now. Like, you aren't the same guy. Like, if I was Harden, I would have opted out and just signed somewhere for a decent amount of money.
Yeah, what's the point of opting in?
Like, what's the point of opting in? Like, you'll get your $30 million, but you're like, I want out. And are you gonna throw a hissy fit? And are you gonna turn into Ben Simmons in Philly? Like, Ben Simmons already done that.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, I genuinely don't get it at this point. I'm like, personally, I've never been a big Harden guy just because I don't like the style and the foul baiting. That's why I don't like watching that Philly team, because as good as Embiid is, at least he plays and he does stuff. You're just like, Embiid's number 1 guy here. Let me go to Clippers. You think you're going to be the number 1 guy there? You're probably the number 3 guy there. You're more so 2A, 2B with Paul George at that point. At least Paul George like can play defense and all that. Now the question, there's injuries. Guess what? The 2 stars there are injured. You're also an injury-prone star at times now.
Westbrook's the healthiest guy there.
Well, Westbrook's the healthiest guy there, and you were just with Westbrook. Why didn't it work out there then? Now you're gonna be like the third option. On like there are things as 1A, 1B, but in this case you're a third option if you want to go 1, 2, and 3. Because I still think Paul George will be ahead of him in that case. Is Harden gonna play properly? If his agent said he's expected to play properly, so if that's the case, sure, get your value up, and you might be a Clipper by the trade deadline.
Yeah,
right?
that
Like,
could be true.
why are you gonna like? If I'm Embiid at this point too, like like as much as we're not big Embiid guys, we still respect what he's been doing for the last bit.
He's a good player.
Embiid
really
doesn't
good player.
deserve this either as the guy in
Yeah.
Philly because he had to deal with Ben Simmons. Now he has to deal with James Harden. And if I'm Embiid at this point, like I want out or go get me Damian Lillard, and Damian Lillard clearly wants the Heat. So yeah, it's
I mean, Sixers just are in a situation.
then Nick Nurse is like trying to figure this out.
And
while
Nick
going
Nurse
on.
is there too.
I don't know
right?
how much of this is also Nick Nurse doesn't want Harden either. Who knows?
No, I think it was like
Because no,
clear.
there was a thing where Nick Nurse's media day. He's like his press conference, and he was like asked the question. Philly kept pressing him. He's like, "What? So you think James Harden will be on the team?" And he's trying to like deflect the question, but Philly media wouldn't let him. So I don't know. Who knows what that situation is? But he obviously James Harden needs to like. I think in my opinion, at this point, has to smarten up. Like it can't be like you can't have it all your ways.
You cannot not play this year.
No, not just in general. You can't have it every way possible that you want. You ain't even a top 10 player in the league anymore.
Yeah.
Once upon a time you were. I'll give you that for sure.
I mean, you were MVP.
Yeah. And arguably MVP finalist for 2-3 years. Yeah.
Top 3 player for like
for the years.
3-4 consecutive years.
Exactly. So I don't know. If I'm Harden, figure it out in Philly, balled out, so at least you could get your max money the next year.
Yeah.
That's what. If I'm Harden, that's what I would do. Then you could happily go be a Clipper.
Yeah.
Afterwards. So yeah, I don't understand it. But moving on, NBA schedule has officially come out, and I didn't realize it hasn't come out yet.
What?
The schedule.
It came out.
No, I mean like in terms of it hasn't already come out, like in July or something.
Oh, okay.
Like we're in August and it came out like last week.
Later?
I thought it was earlier, like when the NHL was announced, for example.
Okay. Yeah. So
like MLB is already announced and the season's not even over. And now I get it; they have 162 games.
Yeah. So you thought it was later than expected.
Yeah, I thought it was much later than expected. I thought it was already like out by the time we started the podcast.
Yeah, we got a doozy of a game 1.
Nuggets.
Nuggets Lakers.
So Lakers gotta go to the Nuggets and see them with the championship banner up.
Yeah. 2
years in a row, because they did it with the Warriors last year.
Yeah.
And then the other one was a Warriors Suns. No.
It's gotta be like an Eastern game, like an earlier game.
No, it's both West. 100%. They're both Western Conference.
They're both
games.
West.
Yeah, 100%. I know that. I think it's Warriors Suns
at the same time. That makes no sense.
Harden still wants out. I mentioned that. I'm just looking through some. While we look for the schedule, Hall of Fame induction ceremonies happened yesterday. Shout out Tony Parker, Chris Paul, Becky Hammon, Pau Gasol. On the top of my head, these are the guys.
Chris Paul.
Sorry, Tony Parker, Dwayne Wade,
Yeah.
Pau Gasol, and Becky Hammon. And even Coach Pop, I believe. Yep, Greg Popovich as well is a Hall of Famer. So shout out to all you guys. I forget who's next year. There's one guy, I think Vince might be eligible next year.
Vince could be eligible next year?
Yeah. The schedule, I'll look at that first.
I got it here.
Oh, yeah, cool.
It's Lakers Nuggets opening night. And the other team should be... Yeah, so Warriors Suns.
Yeah, so I was right.
So, I mean, isn't the games on at similar times? I guess.
One of them might be earlier. Like if Nuggets might be earlier. It could be like at 5. 4:30.
Yeah, that's
I won't be
true.
surprised if that game's at 4:30. Because the Nuggets are the most Eastern team out of those ones.
Out of those ones, right? Yeah.
Because
And then they also have the Christmas games out, which is starting off with Bucks, Knicks, Sixers, Heat.
Sorry, say it again.
Bucks at Knicks, Bucks in New York.
I'm not surprised, yeah.
76ers in Miami.
Not surprised.
Celtics at Lakers.
That one, I was surprised that one. I should have been a Christmas Day game.
Mavericks in Phoenix.
Not surprised. The Luka rivalry.
And then
there.
last one is...
Wait, Mavericks at Phoenix.
Yeah.
KD versus Kyrie.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then the last one is Warriors at Denver.
Yeah, so all of them make sense. Obviously, you're going to jokingly say that.
Bro, Raptors. Oh, PD was all the way here, too. Moving back.
Yeah, no, the Christmas games, like those are the expected teams usually. Clippers don't have a game, which is not surprising now because the Denver level up there. And there's no like all the teams I think are deserved. New York always gets it no matter what. Even when the Lakers were bad, they were always gonna get it. Those are the and then I think the Celtics are usually the 3 locks for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Anything else we missed?
no, I'm just going through the Hall of Fame thing quickly. Yeah. So who's eligible for 2024? Vince Carter. Do you think it's first ballot? I'll read all the names first.
Yeah.
Vince Carter, Joakim Noah, Tyson Chandler. That's a underrated one for me.
Yeah.
Champion and Depoy. Jamal Crawford. That's a tough one because he was the original 6 man of the year guy. Kyle Korver, Marvin Williams, and then other players who are eligible of Hall of Fame in 2024. Here are the top non-first ballot Hall of Famers. Larry Faust. I don't know much about him, but they're saying 94% chance he gets in. Chauncey Billups. I'm surprised he hasn't been in yet.
Yeah.
But he's at 84%. Sean Marion, Amari Stoudemire, Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp's been here for a while. He's still at 38%. So
Out of all the first ballot ones you named, I see Vince
it's just
Carter
Vince, right?
Yeah, it's just Vince Carter.
I won't be so like the longevity. Yeah, he hasn't won a chip, but the longevity.
Played in 3 different decades.
But
But he has the highest chance out of the
yeah.
ones you listed for sure.
And then it's okay. I guess based on this percentages, they're saying that the 4 guys might be the guys that haven't been
Yeah, I
first
don't
ballot.
think
So
he
they're
gets
saying
it,
that Vince
though.
might not even get first ballot.
Yeah, I don't think he gets
Like
it.
if Chris Bosh didn't get first ballot, now that was a tough one too because I think that was the Kobe
I don't think Vince
one.
is gonna get it though.
I won't be surprised though. I genuinely won't.
I won't be surprised, but I think like
Chauncey should get in. I think Chauncey should get in. Amari has a shout,
Yeah.
and Sean Marion has a shout. Shout out for I think Amari Stoudemire and Sean Marion also getting the jerseys retired this year by the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, so
Or not
big.
Amari. Sean was it Amari? Sean Marion for sure.
Yeah.
I might be mistaken about Amari Stoudemire though. But yeah, so I think I agree with you. I think Vince has a chance. I don't know if he'll get in, but I think Chauncey for sure needs to be in next year because I don't know much about the other guy because I haven't watched him play, so I'm just talking about experience. And Amari Stoudemire and Tyson Chandler for me are some underrated pieces that need to be in, especially Tyson Chandler.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Last thing, NFL preseason has begun. We're less than a month away from NFL American football coming back. And by the way, just a heads up to everybody, we will be starting our NFL content, heavy content, maybe next week, most likely, the next Sunday spot.
Yeah, we'll start sprinkling
because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, NFL's that one sport where, like, you know, when you did obviously a redraft, which will come out soon. It's tough to do a redraft because there's so many positional needs,
positions,
like,
right?
So
like you don't know what positions to value, like what or more.
Obviously, quarterback
After quarterback, right? Like probably edge rush for defense. After those, like
yeah. So it's
what's
like
valued more.
Yeah. So like
realistically.
so we're gonna obviously try to take the next 3 weeks. So let's almost every pod will probably discuss something, or we'll do a special tier list or a special video on the side for that. You're off school now, so we have time a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, preseason has begun. How much have you watched?
Colts.
Outside of that, nothing really.
Nathan Rourke highlight.
Yeah.
The Nathan Rourke highlight. Canadian boy, BC Lion.
They played it at the BC Lions game on the weekend
Actually,
too.
right?
Vernon Adams, everybody was reacting to it at the Jumbotron.
Yeah,
Either pre-game or while the game was on.
Yeah, that was an insane play by him, right? If you guys didn't see it, just check it out.
You would think it's like Patrick Mahomes or like Josh Allen,
right? It was genuinely like that,
or even Lamar.
Yeah, it was genuinely that type of play.
Yeah,
like
it was funny because someone put like a thing out like if this was Patrick Mahomes, it would be everywhere, right? And Patrick Mahomes co-tweeted that was like sick play. So real recognize is real. Obviously let's start there. Nathan Rourke. We know the reason why we're talking
about the Canadian boy.
We're okay. Trevor Lawrence has a job in lock.
Yeah,
but he's putting a case to be a backup quarterback, and that's why he went to Jacksonville, right? So we're rooting for him heavily for sure.
We saw him at BC Lions last year.
Yeah, like
he absolutely put on a show.
You guys should check out the BC Lions highlights of him last year, CFL, and yeah, some of you guys will be like, it's a CFL, but there's a reason why Jacksonville. Doug Peterson probably wanted him, or anyone on that staff wanted him.
He's tried out for many teams. Tried out for the Colts as well.
Yeah, so teams wanted him because they saw it. I was skeptical that he would have been gone, especially with the injury, but clearly I was wrong. Even with the injury, he was a high commodity there. So, yeah, hopefully we could just sprinkle in a little bit more of the preseason from him.
Yeah, I guess I never thought.
Should be on the sideline.
I never thought. Yeah, he'll be on the sidelines. Don't get me wrong. Lawrence is the number one, clear.
Yeah.
But if you could tell. maybe Jacksonville's getting blown out or blowing out someone. Nathan Rourke could come in for a couple drives.
God forbid any injury, so I'm not gonna say anything
Yeah.
to put that into existence. I'm a huge Trevor Lawrence fan,
So I never thought I'd say this, but like for that reason, I'm actually kind of excited to watch Jaguars preseason just because of Nathan Rourke.
yeah.
But yeah, other than that, should we?
Jaguars with him with Calvin Ridley.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
him. But should we shift over to Colts and see?
Well, let's go Colts. Let's go rookie quarterbacks in general.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with Anthony Richardson. Obviously, okay. So let's put it out this way. Bryce Young played.
Barely
CJ Stroud played.
I think Bryce.
Yeah,
played
well,
like
he's the
pass
number
attempts.
one anyways, so
Yeah, like
he
two
didn't need to
pass
play
attempts,
much.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud played. Will Levis played. No,
Will
I didn't
Levis
watch
played.
much of Will Levis, but and then obviously Anthony Richardson. And like Colts fans, I only watched like the first quarter and a half, 2 quarters.
So all the Anthony Richardson drives basically.
All the Anthony Richardson drives and a little bit of the Minshew drives, but
Yeah.
we're not gonna get into the whole breakdown of the Colts. We're just gonna strictly talk Anthony Richardson here. Looked decent, right?
looked
He
solid.
threw a pick. The pick was brutal. Now
But the pick was also like.
it wasn't 100% on him.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, okay, he could have thrown it away, but another thing is like you could tell there was a clear communication issue between coach and player or quarterback and
It's a
receiver.
new coaching staff, new quarterback, new team.
Wide
Like
receivers
on the
are-
offensive side of things, it's a whole new
It's
staff.
a whole new staff, right?
Yeah.
So
Except for Reggie Wayne, but Isaiah
yeah.
McKenzie's new
But
with
like,
Reggie Wayne.
you could just see this like RPO game, read option game has so much.
He had that
potential.
one great run,
And
and
it got
Pharaoh
called
Brown
back,
got a holding penalty. He threw a sick. The only deep pass he threw was a touchdown. And
and
Alec
then-
Pierce, as got a starting receiver now,
He should be
getting
catching that. And then I
now
think he had
I'll
a-
give him a little bit of a pass because he is
Yeah.
the second year, but still.
And then also he had a good 20-yard completion to Kylan Granson as well. But one thing's clearly things you stand out, right? You could see the potential is there.
Yeah.
Clearly, you could see that this guy's absolutely massive and
He
hard
could
to
run
tackle,
'cause he did
and he
truck
can
someone.
run.
Yeah.
He's gonna finish his runs.
Do you know how weird is it? Like, how weird is it as a Colts fan? You can
To see
a
someone
running
who could
quarterback.
run, right?
Outside of Jacoby Brissett, really.
Yeah, right. And then number 3,
And Sam, but
yeah, number 3, he has an absolute cannon.
yeah, like I don't even think he flinged it that hard to that Alec Pierce.
Yeah,
drop.
right. He just honestly,
Perfectly placed ball. You saw it just come out when he
You
hit the
could
ground.
just see that this guy was like, like he played like he belonged there, type of
Yeah.
thing, right? Like he was calm, he was poised, right? So obviously, there's things to work on. Don't get me wrong, but you could just see that the potential and why the Colts picked this guy. You kind of saw that
just
in the
work
preseason
more,
game
and
one.
he's clearly a workhorse. Every teammate of his has said like he's constantly in the
and
playbook,
everyone's backing
and
him
hopefully
too.
he's working on his footwork. That's the key thing,
Yeah.
according to Dan Orlovsky. But yeah, like Shane Steichen took the blame on the pick.
And he's
Isaiah
impressed-
McKenzie took a blame on the pick.
Steichen was impressed by his performance as well, Richardson's.
Yeah.
So
Now
good signs to start off with.
JT, we're looking at you. You're supposed to be back in training camp. Can you please play a game or even practice with him once? And hopefully you get your money
Just turn up the
or
bass.
something. Just do what James Harden again. Just show him what you're worth and get it.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Stay
That's
healthy
that's the only
and, yeah.
option, right?
That-
Try to stay healthy.
Any running
pop
back.
off
really.
like your almost MVP year, and yeah, man, we could probably see the
I'm
most.
surprised Kenny and Drake didn't play.
He did. He got a few.
Oh, he did because
Yeah.
Evan Hall started. That's why.
Yeah, Evan Hall and Deion Jackson got.
more of the
more of
snap.
one
I
snap.
didn't see.
But yeah, Kenny and Drake got a couple.
Okay, I didn't see.
rush
I didn't.
attempts.
I had to leave at that time too. I didn't care
And
for
then
it.
yeah, just JT and Anthony Richardson could just be the most electrifying backfield this year.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're gonna be good, but they could be electrifying.
Yeah. CJ Stroud, similar vibe. They're saying. Bad pick.
Yeah, he
But
struggled a little bit, but
he still
obviously
doesn't have the number one job in law because Davis Mills is
Davis
still there.
Mills is still there. Yeah.
But long
I
neck
mean, it's not
David
like
Mills.
it's not like Richardson has it either, but yeah, I mean, I watched a couple of those first CJ Stroud. He made some good throws. Obviously, the pick was terrible throw, right? But
You watched it?
yeah, it was like the first preseason game, so I just had it on.
Okay, yeah, so I didn't watch it.
So I watched like the first quarter, like
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the ones he played, and yeah, I mean, you could just tell that you could just tell he was a rookie.
Yeah.
Like you could tell it was his first game, but there was also some promise shown as well.
Yeah. Other intriguing things is I'm looking at San Francisco. Who's good right now? It's Brock Purdy, but who's number 2? Is it Sam Darnold or is it Trey Lance? Right? Or Trey Lance played. Looking over on the teams that the players that performed. Justin Fields gave DJ Moore, his first catch was a 62-yard screen pass. Touchdown.
Justin Fields' stat line was like 3 for 3, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And then 2 of them were at Khalil Herbert and
Yeah, one was Khalil Herbert. He had one reception for 50 yards, 50 plus yards.
yeah.
And then DJ Moore had a reception for 64 yards, which was the screen pass play.
Yeah. Well, the Raiders.
So it just feels like Chicago might be in like an explosive team this year.
They're gonna be
early signs.
They could be that Philly team, not this past year, but the year before that barely made the playoffs. That lost to
as
the
a
Bucks.
7th seed.
Like I could see that from, especially that conference is weak as hell, right?
The
Like
division.
their division is
And-
up for grabs in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean they
And
could win
all
it.
around.
I think Lions are the clear favorite in my opinion.
I want to say clear favorite. I still think
like in
it's
my
neck
head.
and for me it's neck and neck between.
In my opinion.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, yeah, okay. In my opinion, it's neck and neck between
Yeah,
Vikings and the
I think
Lions.
like I would rank Lions number 1,
Yeah.
and then obviously you have the Vikings.
Another
and
guy
Bears.
who's been killing is Zach Wilson. He's the plays he's making are Aaron Rodgers esque, and so it's passing down. So in 3 years' time, Zach Wilson could be ready to lead the Jets once Aaron Rodgers retires.
and then
It
obviously
could be next year. Who knows? Aaron Rodgers could go in the darkness and be like, "It told me to retire." So
Yeah,
who knows?
go in his dark cabin wherever you went.
Yeah. Let me just check if we're missing anything. Nothing really big happened in baseball. We'll update you guys probably next week.
Yeah,
about-
baseball is like it's gonna be that time like where when September comes, it's gonna be like
Yeah.
there's gonna be some big games going on. Blue Jays won today,
But
just take that.
Seattle lost, I think.
but Seattle lost. So obviously long story short, Seattle's on a hot streak. They're a game and a half behind.
But you know,
That
everybody
final
hates the
wildcard spot.
Yankees, so you guys could go laugh at them.
Yeah, you can laugh at
How-
the Yankees.
how they lost
but,
today.
But the NL wild card is tight race for
Yeah,
sure.
Arizona just beat San Diego, so that's big. So, yeah, good. We'll just leave it there. So, with that being said,
Yeah, comment down below your soccer opinions for sure. Obviously, first
overreactions. What do you think?
overreaction.
Do you think Liverpool's gonna finish in relegation? zone?
Liverpool's getting
Do
relegated?
you think even Man United's gonna
You
shit
think
the bed tomorrow?
Newcastle's gonna win the
Okay.
league. All that stuff, whatever is going on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so that's pretty much
that's
it.
pretty much it. Yeah.
Make sure, like Jovan said, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be dropping some bangers this week, hopefully, if everything again works out. We're not
Yeah,
trying
if
to jinx
everything
it
work
here.
out, you
We got-
should be expecting a EPL prediction table video. Obviously, we recorded it before the game started, and I had finals, so I didn't really edit
Yeah.
it. So hopefully that drops by Tuesday.
Yeah, this is we'll let you guys tune in. You guys will tell by the thumbnail how we're gonna do it. And we might be dropping another banger on Saturday, so keep an eye on that. And make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, rate, review it on audio, and again, help us get to 100 followers on Instagram and even TikTok. We drop daily. All right, we've been seeing the views. We love that support, but can
we turn it into followers?
we
as
turn
well?
that into followers? Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, other than that, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.